It's been a little while since the last Grand Prix, so let's briefly recap. At the start of July, Lando Norris won his home race as Nico Hülkenberg took his first F1 podium in a wet race at Silverstone. The race marked the halfway point in the season where Oscar Piastri's championship lead over Lando Norris has been significantly reduced, but McLaren still retains a strong lead in both championships. On to round team 13, a sprint weekend and a historic circuit enjoyed by fans and drivers alike. Friday set for light showers of highs of 20, with Saturday being a similar temperature but mostly cloudy. Sunday's forecast is for more showers across the day and slightly lower temperatures, but Red Bull filled the break with the shock news of the announcement that team principal Christian Horner had been sacked. Was this dismissal a gamble to keep Max Verstappen? Who knows, but senior figures at Red Bull were promoted, including Laurent Mekies from Racing Bulls to lead the team, and yeah, he'll be a popular man with journalists this weekend, won't he? Still on the subject of Red Bull, Carlos Sainz has said he doesn't understand why he wasn't picked as Max Verstappen's teammate for this season, and yeah, that you can probably understand why given the chaos that's unfolded with that second seat this year. But back onto Spa, it remains one of the most iconic F1 circuits and a favourite of fans and drivers alike. It's one of 7 circuits that's been part of F1's inaugural season in 1950, and only 2 years has it missed since then. The 1957 was cancelled due to financial rationing, and 1969 was cancelled over safety concerns. The original 1921 circuit was 14.9 kilometres long and built using public roads. The following year, a chicane was installed to slow down the cars, but it would still be the final year of Old Spa as F1 moved to Zolder for the next 10 years. Redevelopments at Spa shortened the track by half, which makes it still the longest track on the calendar, and it shares a backdrop to the Austrian Grand Prix with forests and halls of the Ardennes region. The circuit, which sweeps through the forest, has everything you could want: elevation changes, overtaking and unpredictable weather, featuring famous corners like Eau Rouge and Raidillon, making it an instant classic. The sweeping high-speed roller coaster is regarded as one of the all-time great circuits, as Spa is best circuit in the world according to Fernando Alonso. And yeah, if you ever get to go, the viewing those cars, I was lucky enough to go Eau Rouge, is pretty incredible. Verstappen, it's a bit of a home race for him, being born in Belgium, and yeah, no Belgian driver except for him has won the Grand Prix, but Lando Norris also has family connections there, so yeah, an interesting one. But it was last year, it was a Mercedes one too, or at least it was until George Russell's car was dramatically disqualified after he held on for that late win for being underrate. And it's hard to bet against any other driver than McLaren winning now with their dominance recently. So yeah, but it looks like it could well be a tussle between the two. Piastri leads Norris by 8 points, and they're 61 points ahead of Verstappen in third. And yeah, almost double the amount of points of the nearest challenger behind in the constructors. So yeah, it's looking pretty comfortable for them. Obviously in the UK on Sky Sports and BBC 5 Live. And yeah, pretty usual European time. Sprint qualifying is at 3:30. Sprint is at 11 on Saturday, qualifying at 3, and the race gets underway at 2. So yeah, an intriguing weekend coming up. In practice at Spa, it was McLaren who were looking very strong, as you'd expect. Oscar Piastri topping the timesheets. And then, yeah, we also had Red Bull looking somewhat competitive behind, but away off 4 tenths. Yeah, it's the middle sector of McLaren really making an advantage. Mercedes, and especially Ferrari, seem to be lagging a bit behind. Ferrari, their new upgrades maybe quite haven't delivered what they're hoping just yet. But yeah, it'll be intriguing to see if they can improve over the weekend. So yeah, an interesting one. But I think McLaren looking in a very strong position based on what we've seen. And before I go, let me run you through my predictions for this weekend. I'm going to say Oscar Piastri will have a great weekend. I just feel like he got unlucky at Silverstone, and this could be his chance to bounce back. Yeah, I mean, he said it's his favourite circuit. No reason not to believe him. I'm going to say Norris will get a measure of redemption in the sprint and come home in second. I think that McLaren just has such a field advantage that, yeah, it could benefit them. And in third, I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton will finally get his first podium for Ferrari. Came close at Silverstone and seems to be improving recently, and Ferrari reportedly have a major rear suspension upgrade. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I think one that he could thrive at this weekend, of course, winning this race last year as well. So yeah, I'm going to say third for Hamilton. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.